Totally like me. Deleema is here, and we met through Instagram actually, but we were chatting, and it happens to be that we're in the same downline, which is really funny and random. But I just am so encouraged by you daily and what you share, and like you just have to go watch her Instagram stories because she'll just make you like super excited for life. You have so much energy, and I'm like, oh man, she's just got it going on today. So but I'm just excited to learn from you and to hear what you do and what's working for you. I know you shared with me that you went from discount coach to then working and what that looked like, and now you're killing it. And so on a little amount of time. So I love that. And I'm excited to hear. So go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I think we actually met, I think I found you through one of those, through a giveaway,
I think so. Yeah.
And I looked at your page and I'm like, oh my God, I need this girl on my team. And then I looked at your page and I'm like, oh man, someone already snatched her up. She's golden. She loves her some Jesus. I love me some Jesus. Hey, can you go see Daddy, please? Yeah, go see Dad. Go see Dad. Hold on one second. Sorry, guys.
Oh, you're fine. Uh-oh, I lost you.
Sorry, guys. He's been so needy all day today. This is part of my story, so I'll share a little bit about this. But I wanted to kick off tonight and just let you know, one, I don't really have anything incredibly special to share with you guys. I'm really praying and hoping that I might say it just in a little different way. It could like flip a switch for you or trigger something for you. You may have already heard it 10 million times from Ashley or Jacqueline, but maybe to hear it from someone else in a different way, it might spark a fire that just needed that to be sparked. So my story, I really love to call it the roller coaster, because I was telling Ashley that if you could do something wrong, anything wrong in this business, I have done it, because I signed up as a coach in 2015. And I signed up, I was previously in the Tone It Up world. I don't know if you've ever heard of that, but Katrina and Karina, they're big into Tone It Up. They're the creators of Tone It Up. It's an online fitness community, same concept as Beachbody, but not as intimate, and you don't get a personal coach. So I was in that world, and I really, really connected with my coach now through the Tone It Up world. And then she converted over to Beachbody. And I'm like, man, she just seems like there's something different about her. And she posted one day on her stories or on her Instagram feed, inviting people to join her for this 21-day challenge. And I was like, okay, it's probably too expensive, but I'm just going to ask her what the heck this is about. And so I asked her, and of course, if you follow me on social media, I'm a budget guru. I'm super intentional about our finances. And I just thought that was a lot of money. I mean, it was $140 for one program and one shake. It's not what it is today. And it took me months, y'all. Months. She originally opened the door of like, Deleema, you're doing everything that I'm doing. You should just join me and see what it's all about. As a coach, you already post your fitness, so you might as well get paid for it. And I asked absolutely every question underneath the sun. I asked about taxes. I was probably the one that she's like dreading. Oh my gosh, she's in my Instagram inbox again. But I finally decided to sign up in October 2015, and I just hit the ground running. I started sharing just like I shared in the Tone It Up world, as using Instagram as my accountability partner. I had zero pretty pictures. I put text all over my pictures. It looked terrible. Half of everything that I posted was really dark, but I was ready just to be vulnerable and to share my story. And that's what I did. And I was able to go from coach to diamond within 3.5 months. And I didn't even know what that meant, y'all. I mean, I hit Success Club 10. I hit Success Club, I think 16 as my first month of a coach. And I was like, and Haley's like, yeah, girl, yeah. I'm like, I don't even know what that means, but okay, thanks, And I was along for the ride. I was, 7 months postpartum at the time. And I have 2 children. The one that you just saw that came in crying. They're right under 2 years apart. So I got pregnant with Cooper, and I had a healthy pregnancy, but I kind of fell off of the Beachbody bandwagon. I was doing my workouts. I was drinking my shake, wasn't drinking Energize at the time, but I was sharing, but I wasn't ever inviting to that. But I think the key thing is Haley, my coach, she never ever left my side. She was there for me, and whenever I was high, she was there for me in my valleys, and she was just there as a friend and as a motivator. And I dropped, and I actually became inactive. I didn't understand what that meant with volume, and neither did Haley, because she was growing as I was. So I lost all of that volume. Like I said, if you made a mistake, I've made it. If you can make a mistake, I've made it. And then I had Cooper in February 2017, and I'm a pretty energetic, happy, outgoing person, and I got postpartum anxiety like no other. I was like, what in the world is this? I'll never forget, I was out in my garage with my husband. We were loading up the baby. We were going to go out to eat because we didn't have Kennedy, and yes, one child, so much easier. And he just started crying. I'm like, I can't do this. I can't go out in public with the crying baby. And I just had a meltdown. And I couldn't do the whole Beachbody thing. So Haley really encouraged me, fill your cup. Don't worry about working this business. Just fill your cup first. Like, you can't pour into someone else until Deleema's cup is full. So fast forward to January 2018, when I met my success club or my success partner, and she just reached out to me and she said, hey, you are one of the only other working coaches on this team. Do you want to partner up and do a launch together for 80-Day Obsession? I was like, sure. I mean, I haven't been in the business for a while. I've been out of it due to, seasons of life. And she's like, who cares? Let's just do it. And it was so much fun. It lit my fire. It got me this joy that I've never, ever experienced before. We were getting people into this launch group. We were getting people signed up with 80-Day Obsession, like an 80-day program, you guys, of 45, 60-minute workouts. And women were committing to this because they desire to change in their life. And I'm like, okay, this is so much more than what I thought it was. There is something to this, and I want to be a part of it. So during all of this, I was a full-time accounting supervisor for an oil and gas company, and I loved my job. But then I just felt like God was pulling on my heart to stay home. Stay home with your babies, raise your babies. My husband was saying the same thing, and I thought he was crazy. I was not about to leave my six-figure income. I had a great job. I had awesome benefits. I had great pay. I loved my people at my work. They were my sisters, but the Lord just made it unbearable. And he made it where literally the only high of my day was being able to work my business during my lunch hours and being able to connect with my success partner and plug into my boot camps. And I'm like, okay, Lord, I hear you. So September 2018, I left my job. I wasn't making anything, you guys. I was like barely making enough to pay gas and groceries. Like, it wasn't anything like she's going to work this job full time. No, I was listening to the Lord and really putting all of my faith in this plan. And I found my voice. The Lord really, really, really blessed this business. I just can't even imagine how this even happened. And as I was thinking about it, when Ashley wanted me to share my story, I'm like, I don't even really know my story. So I sat back and I just started listening and started looking and praying and like, what can I share with these women that could help them? And y'all, I have joy. I get excited every single day to wake up, to plug into me first, and then plug into my team and plug into my boot camp. And I just want to share like 3 main points of how I was able to do this. Like, what were those little switches that flipped for me to make this really happen? One of them was what Haley preached to me back in 2017, to fill my cup. And the second thing There's no secret. You just got to show up and do the things. You got to do it. Beachbody has already done the hard work for us. They've done the research. They've told us what works. They've got these successful coaches together to get this marketing plan and this tracker system and they've done everything for you. And for a $15 fee a month, like take advantage of that. We'll talk about that. And then consistency, I think, is the huge missing link. I know it was mine too, sister. So if you feel that way, like you're on one day and then the next day you're off, like it's totally normal, but you can flip that switch. Just easy, easy, easy. So the first thing I want to talk about is filling my cup. Every morning when I was working full time, I was waking up at 4:30 in the morning, and the highs of my day was just getting my workout in and then my lunch hour hustle. And I listened to personal development on the way to work. I listened to personal development on the way home from work. My kids weren't really talking ages at that time. And most of the time it was dark outside anyway, because I got to work at 6:45 in the morning. I didn't leave work until after 6. It was a lot of hours. So they were tired on the way there and tired on the way back. So I filled my cup first. I filled it with personal development. Whenever I was in the corporate world, I only got 10 to 15 minutes on the way to work and on the way back, but that was my time. So if you're not listening or reading something, I know for a lot of us, reading is really hard in the season of life because we're either working full-time or we're full-time moms or we're both or we're married or we have a boyfriend or we have other things on our plate other than just you and just this business. So if reading isn't your vibe right now, I encourage you to download a podcast. One of our Beachbody coaches, I don't know if you've ever heard of her, but her name is, I believe it's Kasia or Kasia, Kacia. Jacqueline, I know you heard her talk at the NLC conference. Amazing. She has an incredible podcast. It's called Empower Her. So I really encourage you to download that. They're quick little podcast videos. That's an easy way for you to pour into yourself in the morning. Get your workout done, drink your shake, and it might sound silly, but eating those foods and drinking that water is filling your cup, ladies, because if you eat like crap, you feel like crap. And if you're dehydrated, you eat like crap, and you eat like crap, you feel like crap. And if you're pouring into yourself with literally like water and hydration, your energy is higher, your skin is glowing, your skin is clearer, you're happier. And just make sure, just those little things, just pour into yourself. Pour into yourself. You cannot pour from an empty cup. And there's a quote that I want to read you really quick. I had to write it down on my phone because I'm like, I don't want to butcher this, but I heard it couple of days ago, and it says, you can change what you are and you can change who you are by changing what goes into your mind. So ladies, that is so important. If we just focus on what we're inputting into our mind, and what goes inside our mind comes out our mouth. And I don't know about you, but I don't like being around negative people. It's not life-giving relationships whenever I'm around a woman that just gossips all the time or is just like, oh, I'm so tired. Like, I am more empowered and more excited when I leave my friends who are high on life, who are pouring into their cups, who are giving life-giving relationships than I am someone who gossips, who is not super happy in their life, or maybe you're going through a hard time, and that's totally understandable. We have seasons of life, but share how you're using this business to navigate through those seasons of life, because that is relatable, you guys. Like, being busy is relatable. Pouring into your cup is relatable. I think that's the biggest thing that women, me especially, struggle with, is putting ourselves last on the totem pole. And I know, Ashley, you are so good about this. I love waking up and checking your stories because I know that she's going to be drinking her Energize, she's going to be reading her Bible, and she's going to be sharing what she's reading. And that honestly saves me a step because I'm just going to read whatever Ashley's reading. She's helping me out there. So you're providing value, ladies, whenever you share things like that. Okay, so my second point, I really want to hear from you guys. So raise your hand if you either are burnt out, have felt burnt out, or maybe you've just taken a break from this business. Is that everyone on this call? No, some people are like, you've been all in the whole time. That's amazing. I want you guys on my team. But I have too. And the thing that really, really helped me is that I started changing the way I was speaking. And I really and truly, I had to pray hard about this. And you have to work hard on this to find your voice and to find your brand. We have to just show up and do the things. But listen, ladies, we aren't Beachbody. Okay. Like Beachbody doesn't want Deleema to be Beachbody. Beachbody wants Deleema to be Deleema and use Beachbody as a vehicle to get her message out into the world. Okay. They do all the hard stuff for us. They do the inventory. They do the payment method. They do all of that. We just have to share our story and share how Beachbody has really helped us create our story. I'll be honest, I did not own who I was. And after the NLC conference in February, if you guys are pushing for anything, I encourage you to push for 1-star diamond by the end of this year. The NLC changed the game for me. I actually met Jacqueline at the NLC conference and we hugged each other and I was like, who's your coach? And she's like, Ashley. I was like, oh my God, I just started following her and I love her. Is she here? And she's like, no, she's got a lot of trips, so she wasn't able to make it. But if you're pushing for anything, screw diamond. You'll get to diamond. Just use it as a stepping stone. Make it to NLC because NLC is a super intimate conference where these leaders are real with y'all and they speak truth into you guys. They invest into you guys and they make you believe into who you were created to be and not all about Beachbody. They make you believe in your story. And that's really honestly where I decided that, you know what? Like there is no difference. Hi there. There is no difference between that girl on stage who is making millions of dollars and this girl in the very last row. Hi, what are you looking at? In the very last row, because we got there late, because we were taking pictures. But there's no difference between that girl on stage and these girls back here. Like they had to find their story just like I have to find my story. So take a step back and think of what are 3 things that makes Crystal Crystal? Like what are 3 things or 2 things that makes Hannah who Hannah truly is? And for me, it was my love for Jesus Christ. Like that is a hill that I will die on and I will take that to my grave. But I was never confident enough to speak truth about that. And that right there helped me eliminate the people who did not need to be following me and who I didn't need to be following. And it also started bringing in these people who I did need to connect with. And I have a similar thing, a very powerful similar thing that is refreshing and like, oh my gosh, I don't have to hide behind a stone anymore. Like that's how I was. I had to hide behind a tree, it felt like. But no, own who you are, find something that you truly love and build it into your business. So if it's budgeting, oh my gosh, sister, like people struggle with meal planning and grocery shopping and staying in budget. So you better share that, Casey. If you are good at staying under budget, share that and share how you stay under budget and give valuable tips and say, you know what, if you like this, what I'm sharing, you will get 10 times more in my boot camp and show up with confidence and promote the experience that you're going to give your women who join you. Like this is so much more, you guys, than just a shake and fitness programs. This is something that you get to create. It's all about you. It's all about what you want and owning who you are and finding your voice. Just focus on 2 or 3 things that you can just make your business and mold and combine the shakes in here and combine the fitness programs in here and maybe they're color coded in here and add a couple of things that make you, because there's a lot of Beachbody coaches out there, but you have to find what is special about you. There's nothing wrong. It's actually super beneficial to narrow down your niche and make your voice louder, because your voice is going to mean more to the people who connect with you than just blaring it on a freaking microphone with no one listening. Another thing that I want to share, it's a very tangible tip. It's called the daily deposit method. This is something that I started implementing whenever I started doing the things, okay? Doing the things, what I mean is the 4 battle behaviors. And as you begin to grow your team, you're going to have to check in with more than just your boot campers. You're going to have coaches that you're going to check in with. You're going to have your upline who you're going to check in with. You're going to have your success partner who you're going to check in with. And it's hard. Like, I'm a stay-at-home mom now, and I'm really and truly only able to work this business 2 hours a day, 3 if I wake up super early. And that's not a whole lot of time to build a business, but it's enough time. And I want to encourage you that if you think that you don't have enough time, I built this business during my lunch hour. And if I had this during my lunch hour, I would be so much more productive, because I am a list person. And I'll try to show this to you. This is from yesterday. But Daily Deposit actually sells journals like this, but she did an Instagram live several months back, and she said, you can implement this on any notebook that you have. So I have this notebook that I love that has scripture with my name on the bottom of it, and I started implementing it. And I used it as motivation to say, okay, Deleema, whenever you finish this journal, I have a little bit left. You can buy yourself a daily deposit. You can buy yourself an official daily deposit journal. So I'm just implementing this. It starts out with gratitudes, okay? So you have to start out with whatever you're thankful for, ladies, because life gets overwhelming. You're totally normal if you're overwhelmed in life. I feel like adulthood is just overwhelming. You have bills to pay. You have a job to show up for. You have passions to fulfill. You have relationships to invest in. You have a lot on your plate. So instead of thinking about all of the stuff you've got to do and all of the negativity or the gossip that you had last night, like, invest and focus on the gratitudes that you have. So a couple of things that I listed: iced coffee. I was super freaking grateful for my iced coffee that morning. Ability to stay home and teach my children about Easter. That's something that they weren't getting at daycare. And to be able to pour into my kids this week about Easter specifically meant a lot to me. The Instagram platform. So it could be as deep as you want it, or it could be as, oh, this fuzzy blanket on my legs right now. Because as you start thinking positively and writing it down, you will begin to act as a positive thinker. Personal development, that's just a way to really make yourself focus and make sure that you're doing your 10 minutes of personal development. That's a vital behavior. So I love that she incorporated it into her method. And now this is what makes you super productive. It's called a game day list. So game day list is anything that you need to do. So on my game day list, it's 5 things. Don't write down any more than 5 things. And if you have 3 things, that's great. Don't try to overcomplicate this or make this super confusing or overwhelming. Start with whatever you have going on. It could be anything in your full-time job. It could be anything with your business. It could be housework, anything that you need to get done that's more than your daily norm. Write it down on your game day list. If it's a daily norm, like making your bed, and you're already really good about making your bed, don't write it down. But if you're someone who wants to start making your bed and you're not good at it yet, write that down, because you're more likely to cross it off your list and get it done if it's on here and you're like, okay, I need to get it done. So for example, I had to post content because something that really helps me with my business is I pre-schedule all of my content in my boot camps. If you don't do that, that's another fun tip you've got to do. It's a major time saver. Follow-ups and invites, and then a daily cleaning activity. So you see that it is my housework. It's also my business work, because if my home is clean, I'm happier in here and in here, and meaning that I'm more likely to build my business and pour into my business. And the next thing is affirmations, y'all. This is huge. I started doing affirmations in January, and I have noticed a tremendous difference. Even my husband has mentioned he has noticed a tremendous difference. So if you write, the way affirmations work, and I thought they were a bunch of bogus, honestly, whenever I started hearing about it about a year ago. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. That is stupid. I know who I am. I can create who I am. Why do I have to write it down? But as you write it down, it puts it in your subconscious. Okay. And your subconscious makes you act that way when you're not even thinking about it. So if you constantly write down, let's say, Christine, you're not super confident about promoting your boot camps. Like, you love your boot camps and you love being in your boot camps, but you're like, oh, I don't really know how to talk about it. Write down, I am confident. And keep writing that down, because if you write it down, you speak it out and you will start to believe it, meaning you will start to act that way. Another one is I am energetic, because this day I just kind of woke up in a funk and I'm like, you know what, Deleema, you are energetic. You are going to show up today. I am a leader in both my home and both my business. Another affirmation is I am a good public speaker. I am a magnet to good things like that. And then also the final thing to my daily deposit method is win or lose. So after every day, you have to circle win or lose. And at the beginning, you're going to circle lose a lot. But as you begin using this method, you're not going to want to circle lose. So if you put something on that game day list, your mind is going to be like, I don't like the word lose. So you better believe it's 9 o'clock and I haven't sent my 5 invites or my 10 invites or however many invites you send. I'm going to send my invites before I go to bed so I can circle that W. So that has really, really helped me. Again, that is daily deposit. We all have a lot going on, okay? We all have more than just this business on our plate. But what I really, really love about this business, ladies, is that you can navigate. We have the ability to navigate through life with this business. Okay, if you're going through a hard time, still show up, because that is relatable. Everyone goes through a hard time. But you know what's super inspiring is whenever that mama has that baby in the hospital and she's still pouring into something that she loves as she's by that baby's bed, okay? Or maybe you're going through a hard time in your marriage and you just cannot connect with your husband. Still do your vital behaviors, because your vital behaviors is going to make you a better person, which makes you a more loving wife, which can transform your marriage. I know for a fact this business has totally transformed my marriage. We're on the same page now. I'm more confident in who I am, which makes me more confident in a homemaker and as a wife. And my final thing, you guys, and if you have any questions, please type them in the chat or we can talk afterwards. But my final thing is consistency. I heard this story the other day that I want to share with you guys. And it was just like an aha moment. Okay. So imagine that you're driving to work. Okay. Let's say you're a teacher and you have testing this day and you're driving to work and you're really, really looking forward to that Starbucks coffee and you've saved up for it and your best friend gave you a gift card to Starbucks. You pull up to the drive-thru and they're closed. You're like, well, what the heck? Like, why are they closed? Is the water out? Like, how is a Starbucks company, how is a coffee company not selling coffee right now? So you go across the street to Dunkin' Donuts, even though you're settling for Dunkin' Donuts, but you need coffee. You go to Dunkin' Donuts. Okay, the next day you have testing. You go to Starbucks. You know that they have the best lattes because they've showed up for you every single day before yesterday. And so you know, okay, I'm going to give them another chance. I'm going to go through, I have a gift card to use. I'm going to go through Starbucks. I'm going to get my latte that I love. They're closed. So you go again to Dunkin' Donuts and you're ticked off about it. And then the next day, you automatically pull into Dunkin' Donuts, even though you don't like Dunkin' Donuts. But Starbucks has let you down. So you're not going to go to Starbucks because 2 out of 3, right? They're already closed. 3 out of 3, they're probably going to be closed. That's the same thing with our business, you girls. Like, if you show up Monday through Wednesday, what if that girl who needs you, like you needed Starbucks, needs you on Thursday and you didn't show up for your business on Thursday? How in the world is she going to get a hold of you? She's not. She's going to go to Ashley or Christine or the next person who she's also been following on social media. So this is crucial why we need to show up every single day, you guys. Like, I heard that and I was like, you better believe it. I ain't going to let anyone go to Dunkin' Donuts. They're going to come to Starbucks, Deleema's versions of Starbucks every single day. And I'll be real, I didn't want to show up for my business today. I had a lot going on. We're hosting Easter, but I showed up. And the only reason why I showed up is because I have proclaimed that I am a health and wellness coach. So you better believe I'm going to get my workout in. even though I did not want to get my workout in today. But I got my workout in. I got my shake in. I listened to my personal development. I prayed a whole lot for you girls on this team call. And I showed up because we have to be consistent. And one way that you are able to be consistent is to utilize the tracker that I mentioned at the beginning of this call. I'm sure Ashley has shared it or Jacqueline has shared it in y'all's team pages. But the new one is fabulous. I have really never been a huge lover of any of the trackers that have come out. There's a ton on Etsy. There's a ton that other coaches have made, but this one is gold because the business activity tracker, yes. Because it tells you the timing. And you guys probably already know this, especially like since Ashley's your coach. But the timing, and you set a timer and you don't go over that timer because you have multiple things to do. There's so many times where at the end of the day, I'm like, oh my gosh, I love the story section where it tells you, have you posted your meal? Have you posted a product without Shakeology label? Have you posted your workout? Have you posted your life? And there's been so many times where I haven't done all of those, but either it's going to be the first thing that I post the next morning and make sure it's a non-negotiable, or I post it before I go to bed if I've already done it. So it just holds you accountable and consistent if you can just check it off each and every day. Another thing that will really, 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 really transform your business is to find a success partner. Find someone that you can talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. You can brainstorm. You can host groups together. You can have ownership of your groups. For the longest time, girls, I was hosting groups with my upline, which was awesome. But she has multiple uplines now. So she has to cater to all those other uplines, just like Ashley has multiple girls who she's trying to get started off right. She's trying to invest into you girls. She's trying to invest into her girls. Like, she has a lot going on. So if Wendy and Crystal get together and they're able to host a challenge group, you can have ownership of that challenge group. And if you have ownership over a challenge group or sneak peek or anything along that nature, any business building activity, you will be more likely to be excited to promote it because it's yours. And that's something that I noticed transform my business, is that now I have my stuff. My girls are seeing me lead the way, and my girls are following my lead. They're not following my coach's lead anymore. So you guys need to step up and get a success partner, because things are easier, one, if you have help, and two, they're so much more fun, because having two minds at the table just brings all of these ideas, and then you can narrow it down and come up with something super fun and refreshing, and maybe something that you didn't even think about. And I think that's all the content I have. Something that I want to leave y'all with is eliminate, and this is hard, and this is something that we all have to work on every single day. But she spoke about it on the National Wake Up Call in a slightly different way. But eliminate the comparison game, because Christine, you are not the same as Nicole. Kim, you are not the same as Mallory. Hannah, you have a different story than Casey. Like, we are all different. And if we constantly follow people on social media and look at their stories and are feeling envious of them, then maybe you need to take a step back and not follow that person at this time, because you should be following people who are life-giving to you, who are inspiring, who are making you think, oh, Hannah is a full-time student. She has a husband. She has 2 dogs. She has a kid. She has all these chickens, and she is able to make this business work. That gives me hope, not, oh my gosh, Hannah is killing it and I suck. Like, you transform, flip that switch, girls, and use you looking at other coaches, or even you looking at Ashley or Jacqueline, and use it as motivation. Because I know for me, back in 2017, 2018, I was looking at successful coaches thinking that will never, ever, ever be me. But now I look at it, if she can do it, you better believe I can do it, because her story is just as relatable as my story. And I just want to follow inspiring for inspiring reasons, not envious reasons. And just, if we can, I pour this into my team like there's no tomorrow. If we can eliminate being a salesperson and more focused on the experience that we give someone, it will totally eradicate, like it will transform and blow up your business, because you're not worried about that instant $50 you're going to get. You're worried about that marriage that can be transformed. You're worried about the weight loss. Maybe she's pre-diabetic. You can help her. And then on top of that, you can not only help her, but you can help her sister and her mom and her best friend. It's a ripple effect. It is not just about the $50, ladies. It is so much deeper than the $50. So I just want to leave you guys. I hope that was inspirational and just poured into y'all. But at the end of the day, you have to just find and own your voice, which is a given, but that's kind of hard to do, right? So just sit down and think of, most people say 5, but I like to simplify it and say 2 to 3 things. What are 2 to 3 things that make me a little different? Am I going to school full time? Am I on a super, super strict budget? Am I a single mom? Am I a full-time corporate woman who loves her corporate job, but also really loves her passionate business on the side? Like, find those 2 or 3 things that make you you and implement it into your business. Get to work and do the things, and talk about what you want to recruit to. If you want to recruit business builders, you better believe you better be talking about the business, and you better be talking about how it changed your life. If it bought your Trader Joe's groceries, talk about that. If you want to build your challenge groups, be posting, what are your girls, what are these results that they're getting? Whatever you're speaking about is whatever you're going to attract. And you've got to just do the work. As sometimes we just don't like doing the thing, but we love the outcome with it. We love building our team. We love how it feels when that girl's lost 10 pounds. We love helping someone make an extra $100 a week. Like, we love that, but we might not like the thing to get us there, aka inviting. Can I get an amen? And then be consistent. We have to be consistent. I really hope that Starbucks image example will stick in your mind every time that you don't want to show up to your business, because that girl who really, really wants a Starbucks latte has got to go across the street to Dunkin' Donuts because Starbucks is closed. So Jacqueline, if you don't if you don't show up for your business, she's going to go to Ashley, and you don't want that. And yes, I am so excited that you guys had me on. If you guys have any questions, I am so happy to answer them. I haven't had my chat up, so let me take a look at it.
Let them ask questions, but okay. That was so amazing because I'm like, oh, I got to get up and do the things tomorrow. And I got to show up because they can't go to somebody else, which is so true. But it just, sometimes this business is hard. And I love the daily gratitudes because there are days where it's like you got a message from somebody and it's like, okay, I'm ready to quit. Like, I'm just ready to throw in the towel. And it's like, then it's like, if I refocus on the things that I do have, it's like, okay, I flipped that switch and I'm back to being okay. So,
amen. You're exactly right. I was talking to Jess, my success partner, today, and she just had a baby, and we were talking, and we were talking about how her team was doing. And she's like, I have one girl who's really, really pushing. And I was like, pour into her, because that is more than most people can say. And you better hold on to her, and you better cling on to her, and you better still pour into those other people because those other people are still watching. And that's how I feel too. It's like, we still have to show up, and we have to be grateful for what we do have. Okay. So if you want to be making a 6-figure business, but you're only making, I'm just throwing a number out there, $2,000 a month. $2,000 is a lot of money for some people. Okay. It's a lot of money for me. So celebrate that and celebrate what you do have. And don't ever, ever, ever think your accomplishments are too small, because they're not, because they're super, super relatable, and other women are looking for you for inspiration. Like, how cool is it that we have people showing up to our social media looking for inspiration from us. We have the coolest job on the world.
Do you guys have anything you want to ask Deleema?
I don't have anything I want to ask, but thank you. That was awesome.
You're welcome.
I love the daily deposit method, when the win or lose at the end of the day. I'm like super competitive, so like I'm definitely going to use that.
Yes. And the journal is beautiful, and I think it's like $25. It's really inexpensive. It's not that big of a deal, but like you said, I'm super competitive too, and I'm like, use what you have, and you can buy something new whenever you use what you have. Like,
Yeah.
if you're serious about it, you'll finish the journal that you do have. But yes, they have an Instagram too if you want to follow them.
Cool.
Yeah. All the little tips and tricks. And just makes it something to look forward to, you know? And you just have to have joy in this. You have to have joy. Don't let it stress you out, because if it's stressing you out, there's a missing link. And often that missing link is filling your cup to the point of overflow. Because if you are trying to run on empty and trying to give stuff to your husband and to your kids and your family or your coworker or your boss, you have nothing else to give to new people that are coming in.
For me too, the number one thing that changed my business was finding my voice and who I was. And it's so hard when we're following so many coaches on Instagram, because we can become, and she talked about this on the National Wake Up Call, we can become filled with their voice and not our own voice. And so it will change your business if you find your voice. It will. And the right people will connect. You will lose followers, because they're not going to connect with you, but you'll gain the right followers. And that's so key. And you'll get a community, because like 2 years ago, we didn't have a community. I tried to host team calls and no one would come. And now we have a community and it's fun. And it blesses me just having a community of people. So you can do that.
And if you think about it, that's what women are looking for, Ashley. Like, we as women, especially as busy women, it's hard to go grab a cup of coffee with your girlfriend. To be able to have this community and sip on your tea or your wine or whatever and just come together as a team and as a sisterhood, like you said, it just blesses you in such a remarkable way. And you can promote that. And that girl who's watching you on the other side of the screen is going to want that too. Mm-hmm. It's so hard to fit it into your life, but if we can do it virtually, that's where it's at.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. Anyone else? Takers? Okay. Well, you blessed me, and I know you blessed them, and because I can see them smiling and encouraged and nodding their heads. So I just really appreciate you taking the time out of your very busy schedule to fill our cups tonight and to encourage us and motivate us and just hear a different voice, because sometimes we do just need that different voice to connect to and inspire us. So thank you so much. Like, really
You're so welcome.
Go follow her, because she'll make you want to get up and do something. Like,
what's your Instagram?
It is Balanced by Deleema.
And she does have great budgeting tips.
And I can't, that's one thing that I'm like, oh my gosh, why are you being so transparent? But I have been able to have so many more conversations because of that. So never, ever, ever think that your voice doesn't matter, because that's something that I'm like, I'm the only one that struggles with this. Like, no one likes to talk about money. Like, I'm an ex-accountant. I hate talking about money, but it's something that we're going through. It's a huge transition to give up my income. So let's talk about it, you know? And just that's another prime example. Don't be scared to share your voice, share your story, because you have a story for a reason and the world needs to hear it. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You better end this call, girl. I'm going to keep talking to y'all.
Well, thank you again so much. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So fun.